Hi and welcome to another Alpha Challenge video. Today we're going to be looking at a strong deck that's just taking over the meta, HANDBUFF Paladin. HANDBUFF Paladin is a deck that hasn't received many changes, nerfs, or buffs in the last few patches. What you'll find in this gameplay review is that you'll see the mulligan that we'll do, which we'll be looking for our low curve cards. In particular, we'll be looking for Instrument Tech and the 4 mana weapon. It allows you to either draw into the weapon or have the hand buffing weapon. Each time you swing with the 4 mana weapon, you gain your minions in your hand gain 1/1, which ultimately results in your ability to combo your opponent down with a large hand quite easily. You also want to be trying to get the drone, the 1 mana drone, because this allows you to buff it up with the magnetic, and then you can attach it to one of your mechs to deal a surprise amount of damage to your opponent's hero. In addition, you can use the weapon to buff up charge minions such as South Sea Deckhand and Leroy Jenkins. This can ultimately reduce down your opponent's health too. And the last bit that's involved with being able to buff quite strong is also being able to buff the lifesteal minions, the plushie and the audio medic. Both of these result in your ability having a large amount of staying power and you being able to go later and later into the game. So enjoy the following gameplay. I also have a commentary over the top of what's going to happen, and please like, comment, and subscribe to the video for more Hearthstone content and Alpha challenges. Next turn I'll be using Instrument Tech, and I might use one of my 1-drops. They are trading it, which is fine.
This could be our home.
I'm going to just go attack base with this. I'll use Instrument Tech, and I do kind of want to use one of my Righteous Protectors here, but I'll think I might just hold it because once I get the buff further on, it'll probably be a lot more useful for me. They've used both of their scouts now, so they won't be able to get too much more value like that. I'm only playing a bunch of 1/1s down. I'm not too scared. That wasn't one of their cards that they used to get. That wasn't one of their cards that they used from the tracking with the 1/1s. Okay, they're just getting the Animal Companion and they're going to trade. It's all fine. I do want to take back control of the board, so I'm probably going to be using the plushie here. I want to take a bit better control of the board because I don't want to be taking too much damage like that, so I want to play down the plushie. I'll to the Leo and I'll play down my Righteous Protector. This helps me re-establish my board, and also it will help protect me. Next turn I can forge this and then play this down. It'll get a 4/4 down onto the board. I'm perfectly fine if this ends up getting freezing trapped. I think that I'm a bit concerned that it might be a bait and switch though, so I'm thinking of just not attacking into that. I'll just wait and see what ends up coming from it. If it is a bait and switch though, they can just use the alien encounters. So I'm going to have to trade into this either way. Okay, so I'll hit into it and see what ends up happening. It's a freezing trap, that's perfectly fine by me for a 5/4. I might just buff up. I'll hit into the 2/5. I'll use my Muscle Latron, and then I'll trade with my 4/4 into the 2/3 that I just hit into. Okay, so that's fine, they get a 3-drop. I'm not really too concerned with them having that. A bait and switch would have been a lot more concerning for me. This following turn, I think that they're going to try and actually, I don't really know what they're going to try and do, to be honest. I think that they got alien encounters through their Discover card, so they got 3 sets of those alien encounters, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to trade the 3/3 into it, and then we'll end up establishing its board. I'm going to trade my 4/6 into the 2/5, and then I'll re-establish my weapon back up. Or I could play down my Titan and just let them go into it. I don't think this deck really runs anything that would problem my Titan, so I'm going to play down the Titan, and I'm going to use Reinforced. I want to draw a few more cards, then I can buff up my lifesteal a bit better. We'll hit into the 3/3 here, and I'll pass the turn over to them. This allows them to... They're going to grab the immune one next turn, I'd say. It's not really anything that I'm worried about with them getting. They may end up getting the Titan Forge traps. It's the only thing that could be a problem for me, but with my Peacekeeper out, I don't think there's going to be too much too worrying for me. Because I don't think that they run anything that will be able to cut through it very quickly. That's fine. It's ultimately like dealing 2 damage at a time. Okay, heads up. Probably gonna grab the alien encounters again to get that board even bigger. Oh my god. That's fine. Okay, this turn I am going to... I want to re-establish my weapon. I also want to get the plushie down, because I feel like that they probably ended up doing a tracking or something. I'll trade first. No freezing trap. I was hoping for a freezing trap with that, but that's fine. I could get the Virtue out. I think I will get it out. I'll play down... I do need to clear this board a little bit, because next turn they're going to be able to clear it. I'll turn it into a 2/2. Okay, I'll play down my drone deconstructor, play down my South Sea Captain, and I'll buff up my minions.
Open your minds to the light.
Okay. Next turn, they don't really have too much to do. Like I should be pretty well established here. They can use alien encounters to keep the board going, because they do have a few, I think they still have 2 left in their hand, but it's not going to be too concerning for my minions, because I'm going to get way too big for them. Do they have any bees here? No. Okay, so they're trading into my Titan Forge. I'll deal 2 more damage here, and then 2 more there, so that will end up taking it out. Surprised that they're still trading into this stuff. Here comes the alien attack. Sneak. Okay. Alright, I'm going to turn... Trade.
I can do no more.
As the concede, they obviously knew the writing was on the wall. There's not really too much they could do with it. Like, my hand was extremely buff.
Uther versus the Lich King.
You could not stop me then. You will not stop me now.
I will fight with honor.
I'm going to keep the Muscletron here. Pass the turn to them. I'll use Muscletron, I'll buff it up, and then I'll use Painter's Virtue the following turn. They've only got a 2/2, so it's not too much to worry here. Ultimately, I just want to try and buff my minions up as big as possible to be able to just combo them down. I'm going to trade into the 2/2 here. So I will trade into the 2/2.
I don't have enough mana.
Coin. I'll trade into this 2/2 because it gets rid of the Reborn that they have. Next turn I'll probably be using Air Guitarist and I'll be using Muscletron more than likely. Trade in. play down my muscle charm, and then I'll play down the air guitarist. This gives me a 5/5 and a 4/6 onto the board, so I'm relatively strong going into the next turn. I do have quite a bit of power that's sitting in this hand.
Nothing has hurt my hounds.
Okay, so they're buffing up themselves to get some more armor. That's fine. I think they're going to do some trading into drop. That's fine as well. I'm thinking of just going aggressive into them. Yeah. Oh, I should have swung with my weapon first.
For justice.
Okay, so I'm gonna. I don't want to just swing into them. I've got Leroy and things into that. Let's just go on and see what they end up doing. I should be. I'm big enough here to not have to really worry about, because I can give an 8/8 or I can grab 11 more damage onto the board. I can't trade my 3/4 very easily, so I'm gonna. This next turn I'll go 5/3, 6/6 into them. Then I'll. I've got another weapon coming as well, so 5/5 into there, 6/6 into there. I'll grab a new weapon.
For justice.
Just put a 9/9 onto the board. I might go.
You're gonna love the way you look.
Grab the weapon. That puts 20 damage onto their face just by doing that. It gives me the extra 9/9 plus it's the minion on the board. They don't have enough to be able to use the pit boss, so in reality there's not really too much that I'm worried about here. I've also got Leroy in my hand as well, so I can combo them down quite easily too. And then, yeah, there's too much stats onto the field for them.
Luther versus Gul'dan.
Your soul shall be mine.
I will fight with honor.
Next turn, I'm not going to play down the Righteous Protector because unless they're Pain Warlock, if they're Pain Warlock I'll play it down, but it's more likely they're just playing Will Warlock, so I want to be buffing as many minions as I can. Be playing down Instrument Tech this next turn. So Instrument Tech, draw my Painter's Virtue. Next turn I'll play down Drone Deconstructor. And I'll probably just be using my hero power. Actually, I'm gonna buff. Use the Forge, play down the Drone Deconstructor, and then pass over to them. Next turn I'll use my Lifesteal. This does give Rush, which is quite good. Yeah, next turn is pretty much definitely Painter's Virtue. I don't think there's going to be anything different from that. They could coin and get a 7/7. No, they don't have it. Great for me because it allows me to have a turn more of buffing. Okay, I'll play down the Painter's Virtue. Hit into them.
For justice.
They probably will get 7/7 down this turn. Oh, they're going to coin and get two 15/15s. Okay, so I need to start thinking about how I can deal with those 15/15s on the board. I do need to make sure that I'm buffing as much as I can. If I play down my Taunt, it gives me an extra turn to be able to deal with it. I can then also use the Tarim as well.
Music to my ears.
So this turn they're going to coin and then they'll get the Jailer out, and they're going to be hoping to get the 15/15 out with it. I'll be using my Toy Captain Tarim, and then I'll use the 1/1 more than likely the following turn. Okay, so the table, they might not be going for that play. They might just be going to their big buff. So they might be just going for the 8-8. Yeah, 8-8. That's fine. So I've got Sandcastle. I don't want to be using that just yet though.
For
I'm gonna hit into the 2-1, hit into their face. I could just go face here.
The toy store belongs to the Titans.
Okay, so put that to 8. Oh, I have lethal here, because I 8 plus that, and then I can add the rush minion to it and just hit into it.
Listen to me.
Uther versus Anduin.
So they're playing Priest, more likely they're going to be playing an aggressive sort of style deck. I'll be obviously keeping Painter's Virtue, and then I'm probably going to be mulliganing everything else, because I'll be trying to get my low curve down early onto the board. The Drone Deconstructor is quite a good pull, and then obviously the Gold Panner and the Muscletron is quite good too. Turn 3 will always be playing down the Painter's Virtue. Got the 3-2 down onto the board, so I do need to play my Drone Deconstructor down. So it's not very useful in this situation. I'll just keep it so I can buff it up some more. For them to keep healing. Doesn't really establish their board any extra. I'm going to just buff up my 2-2 and then I'll pass the turn over to them because they've only got a 3-2 down on the board. Next turn I'll be using the lifesteal weapon. Okay, so coin. I'll use Painter's Virtue. Buff up all my minions, obviously, which is quite good. Next turn I'll probably be using Instrument Tech and Gold Panel. They probably will get a... So this is quite an aggressive deck, obviously, that I'm playing against. I'm hit into the 2-2 because I don't want to be leaving myself too open onto their board. I do want to play down the Muscletron here because it can help protect me against their whole field, and then I can play down the Sparkbot into it. I don't think that the only thing that could then deal with that play is the Chilling Vulcan, which is a bit of a problem if I did decide to do that. Because the best idea here is that you want to be spreading your stats, because otherwise they can just do the big trade and they can just switch your stats with the 1-3 for example and then hit into it. So I might go for it just and see how it goes. If they do have the Chilling Vulcan, well, they have the Chilling Vulcan. If not, I would have completely stopped their game planning. Yeah, they don't have the Chilling Vulcan, which is fantastic for me. It allows me to have the 9-11 down on the field. And I'm probably just going to be trading here because I don't want to be dealing with this sort of board that's here, because I ultimately do have the better statted minions here, and I have the bigger curve. But they could always then just use the Time Winder, which isn't obviously ideal for me. So I might just draw a new weapon. I should have hit it first with that, but that's fine. I'll trade into their face with my weapon. I'll then play down my Gold Panel. I'll play down my Righteous Protector because it helps mean that I've built the board, and I might actually just go face. Because the next turn, if I need to, I can just go lever it or win me the game.
Keep on panning.
They're going to trade into the 2-2, which is fine. If they have Chilling Vulcan, once again, that is a bit of an issue, but having these two down here is very good for me. It means that I'll be relatively well protected. They do have the miniature there, that's fine, because I can, if I trade, and then I can Leroy, so that gives me the game there. So trade.
Uther versus
Okay,
Thrall.
playing against a Shaman, so it's more than likely going to be an aggro Shaman.
Frightful.
Because they're quite high on the ladder already. I'm going to just mulligan this whole hand. I could just keep the audio medic if I'm feeling like this is going to be aggressive. No, I want to try and get to my game plan as quickly as possible. Okay, I'm going to be playing down Drone Deconstructor next turn. Instrument Tech the following turn, and then I'll be using my weapons at turn 3.
I raise, you fold.
Okay, down the weapon. I want to be... it would probably be a good idea getting down that if I wasn't going to go for the Painter's Virtue, so if I did draw into that and I was going first, so that would be the better play to play in this situation, but with the coin I would be using Painter's Virtue next turn, so I want to be making sure that I'm getting it down as quickly as possible to be buffing up my minions and also healing a tiny bit.
I raise, you fold.
Okay, so they're just going face, which is fine. I want to trade... I'll trade my 1-2 into the 2-3 there, because I could use this to buff it up if I need to. So I'm going to coin here, I'll use Painter's Virtue, I'll trade my 1-2 into there, I'll trade it there, and then I'll go into their face. It buffs up this Spark Plot a tiny bit, and it means that I can use that if I need to deal with their board. And I'll use the air guitarist as well. So trade, outfitter, air guitarist, Raptor's Protector. This should be relatively strong to deal with their board. It's quite likely that they could have Carefree Cookie, which isn't great for me, but I should still be able to deal with it. Horn of the Horn could be a bit of a problem here if they do have the buffs that's needed, but they need to wait another turn because they don't have any coins left in their hands. I have 11 damage on board at the moment. Okay, so they're buffing up their pirate, which is fine. That means they probably could be drawing into the Carefree Cookie. Oh no, they're drawn into their buff minions, so they'll hit into that, and they'll hit into that, and that means it leaves them with 1. It leaves them with a minion left on the board, so I'm going to trade it into the 4-1 here. I'll trade my 4-4 into this one. I'm going to be... They could have a silence here, so I do want to make sure that I'm relatively safe. So I'm going to do Righteous Protector, I'll play my outfitter onto the Righteous Protector, and then I'll pass the turn over to them. So if they have the taunt, that's fine. If not, I'll be well enough suited for their board. They could have the Horn though, which then means they can trade into that. But it looks like they're going for the Hex play. That reduces down their likelihood of having Bloodlust, obviously, so that's quite strong for me. Might use the Dangerous Cliffside here, if not, it's not too much of an issue for me either way. Trading to my 4-2, it's fine. Gets them back to the Cliffside that's here. So I need to take out this, obviously. Charge into that. Take out the 1-1. I'll just play down the 1-1. I'll buff my 6-6 and go into 10-10. And then next turn, if they don't clear it, I can just use 11-7 to knock them. They don't have enough firepower here to deal with my board here. They could use, if they'd use the Horn as well, it means that I could just Leroy them down. So here they need to be hoping to get a taunt. playing Shaman, obviously going to be, well, more than likely going to be quite aggressive, so I need to be,
Unleash the
I
fire
can't keep any of
within.
these cards, I
I
need to be
will
hoping to
fight
draw into
with
my
honor.
usual code that I want to be doing. Pass the turn over to them. Quite likely that I don't want to be They have Spirit Claws, so this is more than likely going to be the aggressive Shaman list. I don't really just want to pass here because that's quite weak, but I think that's probably the play because I can get all the health back that I need to with these audio medics. Otherwise I'd be using them for pretty much no advantage. They might play down the Ethereal Oracle here because there's no way I can deal with any of that. I can deal with that at the moment. They didn't get the spell damage. Okay, this turn I play down my Painter's Virtue. Next turn I will have to wait and see what I end up drawing into, but it's going to be Agatar with the Rush minion. For Agatar's Hero Power Rush minion. Use the Plushy here, that will end up dealing with those 5 drop.
For justice.
3, 4. And I can deal with one of them like that. And I'll play down my Agatar.
Music to my ears.
So, with their field at the moment, they could trade the 4-5 into the 3-3, which isn't too much of a concern for me. I can, if they go face, I can heal all that damage back, so I'm in a relatively decent position here with this board. I'm probably going to be playing down Ziliax next turn, but we'll wait and see what they end up doing with their attacks. I feel like they may go the 3. Well, there's not really an ideal situation here for them, because if they go they could do the 4-5 into the 3-3 and then go face, because that means that the healing totem does mean that they have a little bit more health, and I can't kill next turn, which is a little bit of a problem for me, so I'm going to trade into the 3-3. I'll play, I think, down my Ziliax, because if I go Ziliax here, I can... That just leaves them up to having to hex it or something like that, or they'll have to trade into a hex, so it means that I'm more likely relatively safe doing that. Because I don't think they're going to... Well, they could use that, that's one thing. Okay. This turn here, I want to do a buff obviously, so hit into the 3-2. I want to buff my hand. I'll play down Volcano, play down the Audio Medic as well. And, oops, I didn't heal. Wrong order. That's fine. And then they'll trade into the 7-6, and then they'll probably kill my 4-5. Oh well, misplay. Got to have an extra 7 health and be back at full health and pretty much have won this game, but that's still good.
Witness true arcane magic. How enigmatic.
Okay, so they'll take up my 7-8 with their Echoing Horn. I don't think that there's really anything much else they can do with those draws that they had. They could have Molten Magma, but I don't think that's going to be too much of a deal for me. 3 more 1/1s. Summon 3 more minions. So it looks like they're going to go for the Bloodlust play here. Just judging by this board. And Painter's Virtue, then Tiger Plushie. Or I can hero power. Any damage takes exactly 1 damage to destroy it. Okay.
Let me think.
So I could use the tiger plushie here because then I can get the 1/1 coming from it. Here, tiger plushie 1/1, 1/1, and then hit with the audio medic as well. I can take advantage of this 3/4 being on the board. So I'll play down my tiger plushie. I'm not going to make the mistake again. I'll play down the audio medic as well. Then I'm going to trade my 3/2 into here. I'll trade my 7. Trade my 7/8 into here. Trade my 1/1 into here. And then my 4/4 can go into the spell damage just in case, or I could kill that. I don't want to leave myself up to Molten Magma, so I think I'll just kill this one.
I raise, you fold.
Okay, they're going essentially for a last sort of play, hoping that they can draw into get into something with Carefree Cookie, but there's not really anything here that can save my Lyra. I don't think.
There's simply nothing I can do.
Just play this down in case. I don't think there's anything they can really do there. HANDBUFF Paladin is quite strong simply because there was so many nerfs that came out from the newest expansion and it didn't get touched at all. So playing against Priest, obviously going to be an aggressive deck, so I need to be making sure that my curve's quite low to start with. I will keep the Grand Street outfit up, but I'm going to mulligan everything else. I've got my Painter's Virtue, which is quite a good draw. Depending on what they end up playing down in the first turn, I might be either playing that down or I'll be using this to forge. Turn 3 will be Painter's Virtue. I might have to just play the South Sea deckhand down. We'll just see what they end up playing down first. If it can take down whatever minion they play down, I will play it down just to keep myself protected. They haven't played anything, so I'm just going to pass the turn back to them. Don't have any benefit of trying to go into them. Okay, so I'm going to play down my Musculotron and then pass back over to them. I'll forge it. There's no benefit of just going face here. Okay, so they're discovering a card in their deck. They might be playing some sort of control sort of variant, which is fine by me because I can combo them down quite easily.
Don't keep your thoughts to yourself.
Okay, so I'm going to coin, and then I'm going to use my Painter's Virtue. 1, 2. And I get a bigger hand. My hand gets stronger. Next turn I'll be probably playing Musculotron and Drone Deconstructor. Okay, so hit it to them. Play Musculotron. Play Drone Deconstructor. Using the Puppet Theater here could be quite strong for them, but only gaining buffing their stats could be relatively strong, but I feel like they're going to be using quite a lot of spells.
Music to my ears.
Fun. It's fun. have another Painter's Virtue, so I'm probably just going to trade here.
For justice.
Into that. Lay down my second Painter's Virtue. I'll just lay down my taunt, pass it back over to them. They've already used one of their defense, which is quite good for me. They've used the Puppet Theatre minion that they've got, so they're grabbing a Forge thing, but I don't really think that I'm too worried about that. I have quite a bit of damage in my, just sitting in my hand here. I do want to lay down the gold panel relatively soon as well. I do have lethal just sitting in my hand with all this stuff. Okay, so they got the poisonous weapon, so if I am going to try to do this, I do need to just take them out completely. So, Painter's Virtue hit into face, that's the first and most obvious player. Doing that every time. This is 4, 12, 19, 22. I don't have enough damage in hand now, which is fine, I guess. I'll buff my Muscleatron, play it down, and I'll buff up my Muscleatron here, just hit into them, because if they end up doing a trade, it means that I still do have a bit of health to deal with and manage with. I'm just trying to deal as much as I can down, because I do have an extra, 19 damage just sitting in my hand just here.
The time waits, revealing Azeroth's potential. A world cleansed of evil.
And I have lethal obviously just here, so I'll just hit into that, I'll play down my sassy deck hands.